My name is Emma Peterson, and today I want to tell you all about my research project. So I'm sure many of you currently own a book, whether it's for school or for personal use. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of you also own an electronic device, like a phone, a computer, or a tablet. Now, given the choice, which would you read from? Would you prefer to use the electronic device, or would you use the hard copy? That is what I want to research. Whether people would prefer to use the electronic copy for the ebook or have that physical copy in their hands. So first, I'll start off by explaining my hypothesis. Then I'll move on by telling the methods that I used for my research. And then I'll finish by explaining the data I got, comparing it with the other data that I had researched, and then answering my hypothesis. Which brings us to our first topic. My hypothesis is that more people will choose an ebook over a physical book because it's more available, it's easier to transport, and it's almost effortless to use. Now, in order to figure out who prefers what, I need to gather that information. To do that, I'm going to be conducting my own research to get my data, and then I'm also going to be researching previous experiments that other people had done. So, in order to gather my data, I used surveys, and then I also used scholarly journals and articles to get that previous experimentation data. So, the surveys that I used were both online and in person. I used Facebook for my online surveys because then it's so much easier getting information from people who possibly go to a different school, a different state, maybe even a different country. I had that survey up for roughly a week so that it gives people time to come on and give the information that I need. So people aren't seeing the post after it had already ended and not being able to give their input. I also went to libraries and asked people to fill out the survey as well so that I can get their input. Sometimes people go to libraries and they aren't on social media, or they're busy with school, or they have some other reason why I can't get their input online. So, the scholarly journals and articles that I incorporated into my research, I took from both the CSU database and then also from other databases, such as the libraries or other schools. One of the examples I used was a research paper that had been conducted by a student at the University of Utah. So now that you all have a basic understanding of the processes I used to gather my information, I would like to discuss the results. I found out that 85% of people preferred having handheld books. There was really no set reason why, or not one that a lot of people would agree on, though some of the examples were the weight of the book, and then using an electronic device sometimes caused eye strain, and that could cause a huge problem. I also noticed that a lot of the data the other researchers had done also came to that same conclusion, which brings me to my hypothesis. Because I believed that people would choose ebooks because of their availability, ease of transport, and effortlessness to use, I thought more people would choose it, but my data proves otherwise. A lot of people prefer hardbound books, and that is valuable information that people can use to try and make it easier for school and personal use. So that's basically my research project, and I thank you all for listening in.